Joining us now is Congressman Adam Schiff. He is the top Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee. Congressman Schiff, thank you so much for being here tonight. Really appreciate it.
It's good to be with you.
I was looking forward to getting your reaction this evening to this dramatic move by Senator Dianne Feinstein of your home state of California. She made a unilateral decision to release this transcript today against the wishes of the committee chairman. What's your reaction to her decision to do that and to what we've learned based on this new transcript?
Well, a couple of reactions. First, I'm very glad that she did it. The Senate Judiciary Committee operates under different rules than we do in the House Intelligence Committee, and they have more latitude to release transcripts than we do. But I was also calling for their release so that the public could see exactly what Glenn Simpson had to say and what the situation was in terms of Christopher Steele, and put away, I think, some of the misinformation campaign that has been put out there by the administration and its allies. So I think it's very positive that she has done this. I'll also say I can certainly understand her concern if this was a part of her calculation with the letter that Senators Grassley and Graham wrote urging an investigation of Christopher Steele. I think that's a terrible thing to do, and just part of an effort to go after Christopher Steele and go after Fusion GPS, go after the FBI, go after the DOJ, look at anything except what we did in our election. A tremendous disservice, I think, to Christopher Steele, who really did a patriotic duty in alerting the FBI that a presidential campaign may be compromised by the Russians.
Senator Grassley has raised the concern that releasing this transcript will affect the ability of his committee to get other witnesses to come in. It may affect the integrity of the investigation by giving other witnesses information about what Simpson has testified to, which might affect their own version of events. What do you think about those concerns?
Well, I know one of the concerns that he expressed was that others would be chilled from testifying. I don't think that's true, because here you had Glenn Simpson calling for his own transcript to be released. If you have a witness who doesn't want that to take place, that's quite a different circumstance. There are, from time to time, good investigative reasons to do things in closed session and not to release the transcript so that people don't link up their stories together. But here, I don't think you can really complain about it when you see so much misinformation being put out about Mr. Simpson. And there's a certain basic level of fairness you have to consider in allowing a witness to defend themselves. So I think it was the right decision by Senator Feinstein. It certainly seems like some of the GOP members of the committee now concur with that.
Congress, I wanted to ask you about one of the things that appeared in this transcript that I think will not be new to you because of your role in the Intelligence Committee, but I think is probably new to much of the public. And so I'll only ask you to comment on this, obviously not in terms of your knowledge of classified information, but in terms of what's been publicly discussed. But there's a dramatic moment late in the transcript, page 279 to be precise, when a questioner an investigator is asking Mr. Simpson about how Fusion assessed the credibility of Christopher Steele's sources, his sources in Russia for this document, these reports that he produced, without getting into naming the sources or anything like that. What steps did you take to try to verify their credibility? Simpson declines to answer that, and clearly there'd been some negotiation between Simpson and the committee as to what he would talk about. But the investigator then asks, why? Why are you refusing to answer this question? And Simpson's lawyer responds as such, quote, "It's a voluntary interview, and in addition to that, he wants to be very careful to protect his sources. Somebody has already been killed as a result of the publication of this dossier, and no harm should come to anybody related to this honest work." Can you tell us anything about what that's about?
Well, I mean, there's been a lot of speculation about who the sources might be. Certainly a lot of speculation in the United States. You have to imagine there's a lot of speculation going on in Russia as well. They're watching this very carefully. And anyone that was providing information that went to Christopher Steele, that ultimately went to the FBI, they would have the greatest desire to find and to kill. And when people have died under mysterious circumstances in Russia, there have been profound questions about whether those death or deaths are connected here. Now, I can't say whether they are or they aren't, but I can say that Glenn Simpson has, I think, a well-founded concern, as does Christopher Steele, over the safety of anyone that was a source for these reports. So that information has to be very jealously guarded, and I can understand why you would have such a tremendous hesitation about that.
Congressman Adam Schiff, the top Democrat on the Intelligence Committee, thank you so much for being with us.